I'm from Texas. I went to Sam Houston State University. Was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, going into my 13th year of professional football. Most recently signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. My name is Josh McCown, and I'm just an average Joe, but I have a game plan for life. Obviously, over the course of an NFL career, everybody has different things that happen, and some people have the luxury and the opportunity to stay in one place and play a long time, but it's certainly not the case for most people anymore, and my story holds true to that. I've played for 7 teams in 13 years and have moved a lot and gone through a lot of times where it was really good, and then a lot of times where it was really lean, and in 2010 I was out of football. That was a tough thing to go to, and even in 2011 and 2012. Coached high school football through most of the high school season, and then got signed with the team later in the year. So those were struggles, because it's hard when you want to hold on to something, when you have an identity that you hold as a football player or just as a man in general. It says, this is who I am, this is what I'm known by, and that's taken away from you. You really have to kind of reassess where you're at. And for me, it was a great time to assess myself spiritually and say, who am I? What am I about? What's my identity wrapped up in? I likened that time for me similar to David in Psalm when he was being pursued by Saul and hiding in the cliffs, and he had so much time to spend by himself. Even before, when David's out in the wilderness as a young man, watching the sheep, before he fought any battles, just spending so much time with God, and it allowed me to do that. And I think through those times, God really revealed to me who I am in Him, and it strengthened my awareness of that, and it really rooted me in that identity in Christ and not in these other things. And so moving forward, as I got back into the NFL, it really changed my perspective, and it changed my focus in the way that I went to work every day, because I went to the work every day not fearing what might happen and not fearing whether I could be successful or not, or whether today might be my last day and I could get cut, but it was more of just, man, I'm a child of God. I'm going to work with an opportunity to be in an environment with a bunch of guys in a locker room and to be able to serve my teammates as a member of a team, and in doing so, hopefully honor God in the process. And that was the main thing for me. I think my biggest struggle going through, because it's a prideful thing, going through those things and really evaluating who I was and where my identity was wrapped up in was a key thing that I've learned throughout my career, throughout the different jersey changes, because the sticker on the helmet, the jersey changes all the time. But what I've realized is that God stays the same, and God's constant throughout. When I was going through 2010 and 2011, kind of this time of not knowing what was going to happen next, one of the things I really felt like God hit me with, I'd always read and understood Colossians 3:23, do everything as unto the Lord and not for man. I don't know if I really let it sink in and come out of me. And so I really had this feeling that if I get back in the NFL, I want to do that. And I want to do it every day. I feel like I looked back at my career and I was very inconsistent. I had days when I worked really hard. I could lay my head on my pillow at night and go, I worked as unto the Lord today. But I don't think I did that consistently. And so I felt like when you're out, you just wish you could get back in. I felt like, if I'm back in, that's the way I want to approach every day. I want to be able to know that when I enter the locker room, I serve my teammates, and when I study film, and when I study my game plan, and when I even play the game, I want to be able to know, I've done this unto the Lord and not for man, and not for the pat on the back, or not so I can punch a clock and say, look, I've been here this many hours, but this is what my job, this is what they're asking me to do, and I'm going to honor God by doing it with excellence and by doing it at the highest level I can. And so that was the thing that I think when I got back into the league, I really took with me and made my approach, is that I want to be able to look up over the course of a 17-week season and say, every week I did it and I approached it that way, instead of saying, I did it week 1, but I didn't do it in week 2 or 3. And I really felt like I'd been inconsistent over my career. And so I think that was the biggest change for me coming back into the league, is really taking that verse, doing everything as unto the Lord and not to man, taking that to heart and let it come out of me in the way that I approach my day.
Hi, my name is Ronaldo Wynn with Game Plan for Life, and you just heard from my main man, Josh McCown. Josh McCown talked about how he struggled in his career with purpose, how he got released and for a year was out of football and did a lot of reflecting. Now he's able to have another opportunity and signing a big deal, but knowing that, more importantly, he's a man of God first. Go to Coach's book, Game Plan for Life, to look at that topic and purpose. And also go to our website, gameplanforlife.com, to make sure you have a game plan for your life.